What's going on YouTube? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to make better guitar videos for YouTube and social media. I'll go over what equipment you need, and I'll share some various tips that I've learned along the way. Let's dive in. One of the ways to get more professional sounding audio with your guitar is to run the guitar directly into the computer, as opposed to miking out your guitar. And now listen, you can get professional sounding recordings by miking out your guitar, but there's a lot more involved and there's a lot more that can go wrong. A lot of ambient sounds in the background can mess it up, or even the sound of the pick hitting the strings. This way is far simpler. In order to record your guitar directly into your computer, you're going to need a few different items. And one of the things you'll need is a DAW, or a digital audio workstation. This is the software that acts essentially like a recording studio. It'll have various tracks lined up. That's how you'll record your guitar. There's a lot of different free ones for both Windows and Mac. Windows, I'll leave the ones in the links, like Audacity is one of the more popular ones, or Ableton. I'll leave links for those in the description. For Mac, basically GarageBand is the best free DAW you're going to find. You're also going to need what's known as an interface, and this is what you plug your guitar into that plugs into the computer. This here is the Scarlett 2i4. It's by a company called Focusrite. I'll try to get you some better footage of this model, but this is one of the more popular models in use today. I've been using it for quite some time. I highly recommend it, but there are other options out there, particularly some that may be a little bit cheaper. I'll drop some affiliate links down in the description to give you guys an idea of some that I've used in the past that I liked as well. Keep in mind, I may earn a small commission from those links. And last but not least, you're going to need a video editor of some sort. On Windows, there's a multitude of video editors you can find. On Mac, you can simply use iMovie to accomplish this. What we're going to do is record the video and the audio separately, and then line them up later in post-production video editing. It's not as difficult as it sounds. All right, so let's talk audio recording. The number one most important tip that I can give you is to watch for audio clipping. What is clipping? Clipping is when your source, i.e. the guitar, the source is too loud. Either the volume levels are too high, the gain is too high. You will know this by three different things. There's three ways to tell. Number one, it's not going to sound good. All right, it's going to sound like you're playing in a really large hall and it's way too loud. It'll be obvious. For the most part, it'll be obvious. Number two, the other way you can tell is the waveform in your track will be really wide and like literally cut off on the track. It'll be completely noticeable. You'll look at that track and be like, that doesn't look right. You'll know. Number three, on your actual interface, it will show you. On the Focusrite, the ring light around the volume knob turns from green to red to denote that you are recording at too loud of a volume. So the solution, the fix to this, is to turn down the volume, turn down the gain, and you can do that on your interface. Just simply turn it down until the light stays green. It doesn't go red at all. Tip number two, use plugins for your effects. All right, I get it. You spent a lot of money on a killer pedal board, but the reality is pedals don't sound the same when they're ran in to a line input. The impedance is different. They really got to be ran through an amp. You can absolutely run your pedal board through your amp and then run an output from your amp back to the interface. But keep in mind, you'll likely have to adjust the settings and dial in different tones on your pedals because it will sound different. And if it's not right next to your computer, this can get quite annoying after a while. So the solution to this is plugins. And there are a lot of killer plugins available nowadays for a variety of different DAWs that are fantastic. They're either free or reasonable in price. And there's a few that I do recommend. I'm not affiliates with these folks at all, but Bias Effects from a company called Positive Grid. It's a reasonably priced piece of software that makes dialing in tone really simple. They have a cloud-based system where you can actually go on and download other users' patches that they've created to sound like their favorite artists. So plugins are a great way to get your tone dialed in and leave you with more time to play guitar. Tip number three, listen to your final cut through multiple devices. The reason for this is because a lot of times what may be acceptable through the headphones that you're listening to or through the computer that you're playing it out of might be a little too much overdriven for a cell phone or a smartphone. So one of the things you want to do is save the track, send it over to your smartphone and give it a listen, because you have to consider that 70% of the people that are going to likely watch your video are going to see it through a mobile device, and you don't want the gain being so loud that it's essentially clipping on the phone. So be sure to send it over to your cell phone and listen to how it sounds, and make sure that when your phone's turned all the way up, it's still crystal clear and good to go. Alright, if you're finding this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's talk video recording. You want to record at least 1080p, 30 frames per second. Pretty much every smartphone on the market today is capable of that, so you shouldn't have a problem there. Webcams oftentimes can only be 720, but if that's all you got, it will work. So one of the things you can do after you have your audio track laid down in your first video recording of yourself playing is you can then take the camera and move it to a different location and record yourself playing it again. You already have your audio track down, so you don't have to worry about that. All you're doing now is recording different perspectives. That way you can move the camera around and get a different visual through your video so that the viewer's not just looking at the same perspective of you playing, and it makes the video a lot more interesting to watch. Alright, since we've already gone over some tips on how to record in a DAW and how to record with the camera, now it's time to look at how we line it up in a movie editor. This is actually pretty simple to do. You can see I have my source video, which came from the camera, and I have my source audio, which came from GarageBand, my DAW, and I have drug it down to the project line. And all it's really left to do from here is line it up. So what you can do, a pretty good tip, is to use the audio coming from the camera as a way to line it up. And you can see there's some similarities already here in the waveform that will kind of help you to get an idea of how it will line up. And it looks like this one, wow, this one pretty much just snapped in. That's not common. You usually have to move it around just a little bit to get it to sit just right, but this one looks like it's pretty spot on. And then just all you have to do is mute the camera audio from there, and we should be pretty much lined up. As you can see, it is lined up. All right, from there, all you have to do is export your video, and you are good to go. Alright, if you guys have any tips on how to improve home recording or your videography, by all means, leave them in the comments. We're all a community of guitar players learning and growing together, and I would love to hear what some of the things you guys are doing to improve your home recordings and videos. Alright, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have some killer videos coming up over the next month, and as always, thanks for watching.